do want to preface this. If I have to step away for 10 seconds, it's because I ate like a 2-week-old muffin after I got off work and before jumping on here. So don't be alarmed. It's just that I shit my pants and I have to go clean myself off. Nothing to be alarmed about.
Honest man.
I have duct tape right here in case it happens. I'm just gonna tape my cheeks together. So, um, you guys were already flowing, so I just want to jump back in. Vance, what were we just talking about?
We were talking about the DMV and how, well, whatever it's called in your state. In California, it would be the DMV, and some it's the motor department vehicle, whatever the hell you call it, right? But I had a friend visit me recently, and in my area, it's pretty densely populated to where you have to show up probably a good hour to an hour and a half before the DMV opens up if you have anything that you'd like to get done productive that day, because it will take you like 3 hours, 4 hours. Um, and this friend of mine that was visiting, he lives in the middle of bumfuck nowhere, and his DMV department is run by practically 2 or 3 people, I think he said. And there's never a line because nobody lives out there. So I was sharing my lament and my jealousy of that, because very rarely do many people, unless you buy cars all the time, have to go to DMV, right?
Yeah,
But when you do, it is a pain in my neck at least. So I don't know about you guys.
dude,
Yeah, I can't stand the DMV.
is your DMV crazy too?
Yes,
I feel
absolutely.
I've heard from people in my area that they go to like, kind of adjacent county DMVs and then it's
Yeah,
not as bad. Even though it's like still relatively populated, like my town's not huge. Um, but it's like the worst fucking DMV around for some reason. Like I took my niece to get her driving test and we had an appointment. We had like a pre-scheduled fucking appointment, bro. Like
that doesn't matter.
when I think appointment, I think like, okay, here's a time I'm gonna show up and we're gonna get to business. No, we were there 3+ fucking hours, bro. I was like, what the fuck was the point of the? What was the point? What was the point? Why did I
You
even waste
volunteer,
20
but you
minutes?
volunteer your time one time for the DMV, you'll never do it again.
I just no. I don't know why. I mean, you know what? We should all go fucking volunteer at the DMV because clearly they're understaffed with the slowest they fucking go, man.
I feel as though the character from Zootopia, the sloth, I feel like that character was directly influenced and inspired by people who work at the DMV.
Dash, dash. Oh no, what is it? Flash, flash, 100-yard
Flash.
dash. Yeah,
Yes.
that line lives in my head just all the time. Anytime I hear anything about like the DMV or a sloth, that just rolls through my head. It's like
Yeah,
elevator music.
and it's. I mean, it's not all bad. You're right, because you go to the DMV. Everybody has to go to the DMV. You get to see a lot of different types of people, and sometimes you get to see some silly shit. My dad had to go get his driver's license renewed recently because it came up after however many years, right?
Mm.
And they were administering a test to this like clearly in her maybe 70s or 80s-year-old woman, right? And my dad was sitting there watching her take the visual exam,
Yeah.
and he was able to read it, but very clearly she was not. Like she was missing 3 out of 5. Like not good results, right?
Yeah.
So they just made her retake the test like 3 times,
Oh
and then
fuck
eventually the
no.
lady was just like, "Okay, you're good to go."
Oh fuck
So
no.
there's my dad's like, "You're gonna let this woman drive? Oh my god, she can't even see."
Yeah, bro. If I have better eyesight with my eyes closed, you should not be on the road. I'm sorry, bro. Like I don't. There's like, I'm sorry, but we got to get past this. You know what I mean? Like, just like no student left behind. It's like no, bro. We got to leave some of those motherfuckers behind. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? I'm
Yes.
sorry.
drastic.
It's not nice to say. Okay, I recognize that. We should still find ways to try to help them. But you know what I'm saying? Some of those motherfuckers got to keep moving. Like, I'm
Yeah, adult
sorry.
education centers do exist for that reason.
Yeah. I'm
And then another thing is like your town sometimes doesn't have a DMV of any kind. Like
mm,
mine doesn't, so I have to go at least 1 or 2 towns over to find one.
right.
And not every DMV is the same. Some of them, for some reason, just seem to have periods of time where there's nothing happening and you can slide in there. And for years, I used to go just one town over to this other one, but they closed it for no reason, as far as I can tell.
Oh
It
no.
was too convenient that people weren't using it, I guess. So
Yeah, yeah. They were like, wait, we don't have 3 hour lines. Get the fuck out of here. We got to shut this one down. It's not. It's not meeting the quota, the wait time quota. Um, I've even tried going. I've tried going before they open, and I got there like 30 minutes, and there was already a fucking line like on the side of the building, like Black Friday style line, like out the fucking building, and I'm like, when am I supposed to get here? Like, do I just need to beat the sun out here? Like, just
Yeah.
probably not. There's
yeah,
probably a guy with the tent who was fucking like literally the night before got dropped off by his family, said his goodbyes, like I'll see you in a couple days, and then
Mhm.
just like set up a fucking tent out there.
like it's the brand new iPhone release. He's camping out the door for like
Yeah,
2 weeks.
yeah, literally, bro. Like 12-year-old me sitting outside a GameStop getting ready for the next World of
Yes.
Warcraft expansion. Like that is the people at the DMV, bro. They're like, oh fuck, man.
You really did that, Steven?
Me and my dad, yeah. Me and my dad,
Wow.
I was a legit like 12 years old, like 11 or 12, and but the GameStop was at like a fucking mall. So we still had to wait outside. Tell me why they couldn't just let us wait in the fucking mall, bro. No, they fucking kept us outside and they like let us in like 10 at a time. I was like, bro,
Oh, so there was a lot of people?
there was a good amount. It wasn't crazy because you still live there. Like it's not like this
Yeah.
crazy big ass town or anything like that. And the community of fucking nerds willing to sit outside a GameStop, okay, for a World of Warcraft release is even smaller as you can imagine. Um, so yeah, it was like dozens of people. It was for sure like double digits out there, like a good size line, right? Because it's not like we were the first like couple in line. Like no, we actually had to wait, and then they like shuffled us in a couple at a time.
That
Um,
was back in the day when you bought your physical media. You could buy the
I know.
discs. You know, I
Honestly,
mean,
I kind of miss that. I'm not gonna lie. I shouldn't because like this has also rolled over to things like Black Friday, which like it's good that Black Friday has like the online stuff and because how many years ago was it that people were getting trampled or stabbed at a Walmart
Yeah.
for a fucking Black Friday deal and
oh
it's
yeah,
just
many
like
stories like that over the years.
it's just like maybe that's too far.
I
um
think people should chill out for that reason. But
yeah,
Mhm.
specifically, the reason I mention it is
uh-huh.
because it's really nice to know that it is yours and you own it. And for things, there's things like certain softwares that constantly get updated where a physical release doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
Like you're gonna have to constantly keep maintaining it
right.
in different ways, anyways. But for things like movies, DVDs, like keeping VHSs, I still have old VHS tapes. You know,
Same.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie, the like the nerd in me um kind of misses that because it was nice to like go out there and I imagine like for normal people it's something like baseball cards or some shit like that. But like it was nice to like have something like physical to touch, obviously since I didn't touch grass or girls at the time. But it was nice to have something in my hands to just kind of hold me at night since my parents didn't. You know, it was it was a cool experience too, just to be outside with other people. Like you felt a little bit more of like that community, right? Like like being there, like amongst the other, you know, sweaty,
Yeah.
sweaty guys waiting outside.
finding commonality in some place like that.
Yeah, but it was cool. I actually do miss that. And yeah, my dad even let me that my parents were strict as a motherfucker with like curfew and bedtime and shit like that, and this one night he actually let me like stay up late. Like I thought I was going crazy because he let me stay up until midnight, right? I was like fucking 11 or 12 years old, and he actually let me stay up so I could take the fucking hour to install this fucking thing because again this was many years ago when computers weren't what they are now. So it literally took like an hour to install, and then he let me stay up a little bit to play it. Um, And man, it's still probably one of my favorite memories. Just like I had no idea what I was doing. I was literally like me and like absolute dog shit. I had no idea what I was doing, but it was such a good time. That's probably like like Pee Wee football, right? That's probably why people do that. I didn't actually play sports, obviously, if I played World of Warcraft. Um, but like that's probably why people like it, right? Is like it's just like a good experience. It's not actually about football.
Well, but you had something else like that. You had drums, right? You did music.
Yeah.
And I did.
Yes.
I played
Yes.
baseball too for like 8 or 9 years when I was a kid. Did you play any childhood sports, Vanessa?
Me, I did soccer for a few years until I decided that it was not for me. I did volleyball for maybe 2 or 3 years in my youth, and then dance. I was a dance teacher for many years after graduating the dance academy.
That's
Right on.
cool.
But that's debatable on it. Like, is dance a sport?
Well,
It
it's
got me.
definitely
It got me
exercise.
moving.
No, some like you'd be surprised, like the choreography and stuff like that. Like it's and even just like the physicality and stuff like that. Like people probably wouldn't expect like drumline and stuff like that to be anything actually serious. But I can tell you, I only did it in high school, which is like, I mean, you got to figure that's going to be as casual as it gets, right? Like you can't get high school kids to be serious about anything, um, right? So, but it was still like that. You have choreography, so they're like counting. You have to be counting too because you constantly have to be aware of the music, right? And the music is broken up into I forget what the fuck they are. Um,
Bars.
yeah. But and yeah, exactly. So that's how you have to put them essentially together. I imagine it's like I mean you guys still do music, but like playing the guitar while singing. I imagine it's equally as
Yeah.
difficult because you have to keep the two right, but they're
Hmm.
separate. They're separate. You know what I mean? Which is something people probably don't understand. But yeah, actually the drumline shit absolutely insane because most people literally do it just to suffer. Like it's not like you're not going to. Most people aren't going to be the next Blue Man Group. Like you're just doing it. Like you're out in 100 fucking degree heat running fucking drills. Like and then they cram you
It's
into a
beautiful though.
bus.
Every time that
No,
I would
yeah.
watch you in the drum line, oh my gosh, tears filled my eyes. I am not even joking.
That's funny.
And still where I live currently, I live close enough to a high school where I can hear a drum line when it's like this, it's the season. I hear them out there. I'm like, fuck yeah, you guys fucking rule.
You guys are great.
I was fortunate enough to see him play once or twice. I think that was
Yeah,
really yeah. He did a really good job.
Good stuff.
and
Steven is good.
I think you even I was probably like a sophomore, so I was like less shitty.
Well, you
Honestly,
haven't done it in
as
a
a
while. That's
sophomore.
one thing.
But no, it's actually crazy. And like if you go and see a like a real like group, like Blue Man Group, or like we saw, I want to say the I forget who we saw. Maybe the Concord Blue Devils or some actual name. We actually saw them like in Modesto. They were performing in at like the Galleria or whatever the fuck right there is in Modesto. We actually like they took us out there to see them. The school did, and they were insane, dude. They were insane. They're just like playing on a small stage, so there's not like a ton of choreography, but there's still like I'm pretty sure they did like this almost like this fucking caterpillar type thing where they like went on to the next drum and then somebody else came in and started on their drum like and they did shit with like the lights and they had glow in the you know what I mean like glow in the dark neon shit.
It was
It
a
is
whole production.
no, it is insane. If you see the talent of some of these people, as a side note, I think this will be a great segue because I think and you see memes about this, but in the Olympics or any sort of sport, they should put like a normal, just like casual recreational team. Like they should have them play first for reference because it really puts things into
Red.
perspective, right? Like if you see, like, and I would love to see this in like in strength sports specifically, because like you have no point of reference, right? If some guy goes out there and he deadlifts like fucking 1,000 pounds, and you're like, wow, that's crazy. No, you don't actually realize how crazy it is until you see somebody go up there and shit their pants trying to pull 200
Yeah.
pounds, and you're like, Is it really that hard? Like, yes, motherfucker. Um,
Yeah.
but like, I want that frame of reference because I promise you, if I gave you a pair of drumsticks right now, you would smack yourself in the face. Like you would lose your shit. You couldn't do anything of substance. But these motherfuckers go absolutely ham,
Takes
and
a lot of practice, man. Yeah.
it takes reps, man. It takes
But you're
fucking
right. I
reps.
want to see Dan from accounting come out and try to bench 250. And then I want to see the other guy come out and do double that. That would be impressive.
Imagine being the reference though. I would feel so sad. Like everyone's here because I'm just like the guy. Like I'm just
Hey,
doing it.
lots of people are normal though. Not everybody is like
Lots
that.
of
That's the
people are
point.
not.
Like
We're here to see the strength that you can possibly achieve.
or even just like volunteers. Take volunteers from the crowd. Like, hey, you in the
Hey,
back.
you in the muscle shirt. You actually look like you might be able to pull this off. Give this a shot.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
exactly.
then bring out the guy. Yeah, yeah.
You guy with the curls for the girls tank top. Come here real quick. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that because there would for sure be people willing to go, especially at the events. You have to think like all the spectators like at the events, like they
They're
know shit.
into
Like
this. Yeah.
it's you're not finding random people on the street, right? Like for the most part, like it's people within the community, right? And so
Right.
I definitely hear what you're saying, right? Because people are, you're going to go up there and you're going to lift like 150 pounds and they're going to be like, that's great, son. I'm going to need you to step aside and let the adults get to work. But, but because I've been to a couple of the events and for me, like I have an understanding of like how actually difficult some of this shit has to, like it's borderline inhuman, right? But I feel like people, and for some of the things in the Olympics too, to get it off of something to move me away from the strength sports topic, even things in the Olympics, pole vaulting. Bitch, how many of us can fucking pole vault? And we'll see somebody fail a pole vault, right, from our couch and be like, what a loser. And it's like, bitch, get your ass up on that pole. See if you don't fucking end up shish kebabbing your ass, bro. Get the fuck out of
Shish
here.
Yeah,
kebab.
be humble. Yep, be humble. That's right.
And like all of that shit. I don't even follow the Olympics, but like I'll see a clip of somebody ice skating um to like fucking music and I'm like how the fuck is this, bro? I can't walk that eloquently. And this motherfucker's on skates and ice and just
Gliding.
like bro, I'm like how the fuck? This motherfucker was just born with skates, man. Um but I actually do love a lot of those like the different like Olympic sports too. Even though I don't follow them, but I love that shit that people just like they're just so like eloquent and stuff like that. I think that is something that you see in music. Some people that are really just like they're born for it. Oh, fucking shout out to Louis. I just followed him on the Grammys because I saw him. Oh, Vance, you don't know what social media is, but he's a guitarist that we went to high school with, and
Oh, okay, cool.
he's the sickest fucking guitarist I've ever seen in my
He
life.
is.
Um,
I am endlessly proud of him.
he's
He
insane.
fucking rocks.
Yeah, he's insane. I love that guy. He probably doesn't remember who the fuck I am, but I followed.
He does.
I
We
commented.
still chat. He does.
Oh, really? That's so cool.
Yeah.
Um, but he's the fucking man, and he is somebody who like I watched him like play guitar a lot, like in high school and stuff like that, and so I can only imagine what he's done with 10 years. He can probably just play it with his fucking mind at this point, just like right, and the guitar strums itself. Um, but he is insane. Like you would watch him play the guitar, and it was like a normal person operating a microwave, just like it was
When
just
you
so
play enough,
fucking
yeah, when you play enough for long enough, it just kind of it becomes muscle memory, right? I
yes.
cannot play the bass for 3 months and come back, or 6 months, or a year and come back and play that song that I haven't played in a long time. It just kind of is there. You just remember it.
That's gonna be our next episode. It's just gonna be Vance playing his bass guitar
Yes. I
for
would love to watch that.
for like an hour.
I really like playing Iron Maiden stuff
Okay.
because it's really really bass active. All of that's bass.
Hell yeah. Right on. It doesn't surprise me. You're also like, is Iron Maiden like, what's the classification on that? Are they like
Well,
metal
that would be
or is that classic rock?
it's like at a basic classification, it would be considered metal.
Hmm.
I don't know what they would have called it in 1980 because I don't think they really had
The
metal
Devil's Music
yet.
is what they would have
They didn't
called
really
it.
have metal yet. They had the Devil's music, right? Because Black Sabbath had been playing since like 1970 or ish, and they themselves wouldn't consider themselves metal until many years later. But they're kind of where people consider that to be the starting point for metal. But yeah, Iron Maiden, like I don't know. Even before they switched singers, they had the same like lyric style, like super high pitch, like yeah, like shit like that, and just like really fast, like galloping bass lines, and that's the things I like about it is it's fast and low and it keeps my attention with it's not just that it's fast, but it continues to change each verse or each change up or something like that. I like I like jazz for the same reason. I don't know a lot of jazz
Ooh, I
music.
was gonna ask you. That was gonna be my follow up. Is if you ever did like anything with jazz.
I tried out for the jazz band when I was younger, but I was a lot more locked into all of the patterns, like recognizing scales and
Yeah.
stuff like that, and that helps with jazz. But like I didn't have the any of the idea how to break free from it and use it
Yeah.
outside of itself. So I would kind of get stuck playing the same stuff over and over again. And they offered like assistance to me and like showed me some things, but like I wasn't good enough for the jazz band in high school,
Yeah.
so I played stand up bass. I played a double bass with a big bow,
Oh,
an
shit.
orchestral bass, and that was cool. I played that in the orchestra, and I think one year I played it in what do they call it? Not marching band, but like football band. Like you're in
Oh
the
yeah, yeah,
stand,
yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and that was cool because they would let me practice and play my electric bass out there because it was a big field, right? There's
Right.
no point in playing an orchestral bass; no one's going to really hear you. So,
Fun fact: I got kicked off of my jazz band in middle school. Yeah,
oh no,
yeah. Teacher didn't
You
like me.
did?
Yeah, the me and that teacher didn't get along for all 3 years I was in his class. We did not get along, not for a fucking second. I won't put him on blast, but yeah, there was a, it was, it was like a, okay, yeah, buddy, whatever. um, that's really cool though. And yeah, I could see like from like an instrumental perspective, like jazz being really interesting because it is really like you said, just kind of like free and just very much about like flow. It seems like it's a little less like structured almost.
I
It
just like that
seems.
it subverts my expectations,
Yeah.
because I try to listen, like I'm not like a huge Swifty fan or anything, right? Like I'm not a Swifter, I'm not a T Swifter, but I have
I
heard.
think I am. I'm kind of learning that I might be.
Hey, when I was when I was younger, the tennis, like we had like 20 people or 25 people on the tennis team at school, and when we would get in the bus to go play away games, dudes would be like basically blasting Taylor Swift songs in like 2014.
No comment.
Even though I'm not, I try to listen to a lot of stuff. So it's nice to listen to something where it's like, okay, I've listened to a lot of stuff that sounds like this. How is it gonna? Oh, hey, look, it did something different. And it's not always jazz that does that, but it's easy to find jazz that does that for me at least.
And it's so interesting. Another thing people don't think about, like in music, is it like there it's such an interesting thing where you have some people who are obviously like very knowledgeable about it and they like go to school and they're acquainted with like the scales and reading music and stuff like that because obviously that's a thing, but then there are also the people who like are just really good like playing by ear. Like we knew a kid in high school who was an absolute animal playing the drums by ear. He could on not even the drums, but like guitar. This motherfucker couldn't read music. Okay, he might as well be blind. Um, but he could listen to something and play it back. And he would tune his guitar just by ear. Um, and literally like he'd be showing you how to play something like if you right like because some people if you don't have the sheet right in front of you it's not memorized like you're fucked. Not this guy. He would just like listen to it, like, oh yeah, we could do that. He was an absolute beast, and then I think he started to learn like how to read music and stuff like that through the guitar
Became more
class.
powerful.
Yeah, and now he's probably just an animal. He's got to be a beast if he kept up with it, because he like that's a fucking that's God-given talent right there. Like if your brain can just like process that and just like, oh yeah, that's this. Like, no, dude, that was like you did not like you didn't have to work for that. Like, you just like were born, you heard it, you were like, oh yes, let the spirit flow through me.
Yeah, I've been casually playing music for probably over 12-ish years,
Yeah.
and I mean, from time to time, if I hear something that seems familiar to me, then I can do that. But
Yeah.
it's rare that you get that, and it's really fun when you do because you're
Yeah.
like, oh man, that was great. I didn't even really have to work that hard to get that one.
And like
But
I
yeah,
can I can see from like if I can hear it back, or like it's something I'm well acquainted with, then I can go through and like troubleshoot, like, okay, like where would this be like on the guitar, and I can like work it out from there. But I can't listen to something three times and then play it back. Like, no,
yeah,
bro.
that's hard to do.
I
Yeah,
remember you being pretty decent at guitar,
I
Steven.
was okay. And honestly, like,
Yeah.
again, all of this is from like the perspective of like, for a high school kid, like, yeah, it was
Yeah.
okay. Like, compared to other high school kids, like, yeah, I wasn't terrible. Like, I was probably like, above average on a couple of these things. But just to be clear, in actual real world settings, I was dog shit at the guitar, I was dog shit at the drums. Like, I didn't actually, whether or not I could have pursued it, who fucking knows? But I didn't, so we have to assume, like, you know what I mean? Probably dog shit. I'm not out here like fucking Nick Cannon. Okay, just like, like, no. Let's just go ahead and assume that dream is done. You know what I'm saying? Um, but yeah, I think that's a really interesting one. What else have we got here? I know yesterday Vanessa and I were ranting a little bit on fucking late fees. And I just want to get that one off my chest, because I saw like the headline or whatever, that they were doing something with the way that banks could apply like the late fees. I don't know if it's a cap. I can't actually read, so I just saw like somebody,
The
like read it to
bolded
me.
letters.
Yeah, somebody just read it to me, and I was like, wow, that's interesting. But I couldn't actually read the article. Um, but isn't that such a fucking crazy idea? Vance, what are your thoughts on this? Because me and Vanessa went back and forth, and I was like, who the fuck exactly came up with the idea of late fees? Because if they're still
It's
alive, we should
criminal.
find them. Like,
yeah. I mean, so like if it's obvious, right, that it's gonna be a thing up front, I would expect there to be mailers or emails or something like that,
yeah,
like, before that happens. Of course, they get sent out days later or whatnot, and then you get screwed on them. Yeah. No, I think they're total crap. I
and
mean,
like
It's
it's
just
like
being kicked when you're down.
yeah. If you think about it, like whatever it is that like if it's car insurance or whatever it is, like yeah, they don't want to incentivize you not to pay them, right?
sure,
But there's got to be a limit because I can't have the late fee be the same cost as the
Yes.
fee that I'm initially supposed to pay.
or even
Um,
like one of the things I brought up is like, why, like, I could, because I see where you're coming from. Like, yes, we can't just let people like not pay their shit for like 3 months and then be like, wow, why are you fucking charging me a late fee, bitch? It's like, because you haven't paid your shit. You know what I mean? Like, you're going
yeah,
out 3 months, not fucking paying your shit. Like, that I understand, but it does seem like for rent, I don't think it's uncommon. Like, for if you're late on rent, it's like $50 plus. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
it's like, again, I don't get me wrong. Like, I understand. Like, you can't just let people be late. But as I was trying to explain to Vanessa, um, like, okay, what if I was actually in a financial struggle right here, and I was struggling to put together the pennies and dollars for my fucking rent, and then I come to you a day late, and you're gonna be like, sorry, brother, I'm gonna have to tack on another $100. And I'm like, right, right, right. So like, I just got done selling my ass on the street to fucking put together this amount of money, and then you're gonna charge me more.
I mean, yeah, I think that at that point it's a call to modesty, right, from the
Yeah,
landlord and the rentee
that's true.
to make an effort from both sides to meet in the middle, right? Because
That's true.
like we said, we can't just have people not paying their shit or whatever. But also, if I go and my garbage bill is $250 and you charge me $300 on top of the $250, it doesn't make me feel good about it. Like I understand why it's coming my way and everything, but there should be at
No,
least some
bro.
kind of
I
some
so
kind of leeway or warning. I think is necessary.
Vance doesn't want to say it, but I will. Okay. Normally people wine and dine before they fuck me. Okay. Okay. Vance's garbage company. Like, why don't you take me out to dinner? Call me pretty, buy me a few drinks, and then you can fuck me. How about that? Okay? Because that's bullshit. I
Yeah,
so
no,
I but on to bring me back down to earth here, I've actually been lucky enough to where I've had people waive my late fees on like um but like after I had already been like a tenant and stuff like that. My first apartment, I got like I'm just real bad with like dates and shit like that, and like when I start working more and stuff, like like time is just you know a structure of the man. No, but actually, like when you start working and stuff like that, people lose track of days, right? Like it's easy to do, and so that it was one of those situations where like I just didn't realize it was the fifth, and so I didn't. I went and picked it up the next day. Also, like I didn't have a car at the time. I was biking everywhere, so it was like I was also. I probably did realize it was the fifth, and I was like, yeah, I'm not biking my ass across town to pick up rent.
Yeah.
that
Um,
too.
but like I told the manager of the complex. I was like, yeah, sorry, like I'll like here's rent. Let me know what the late fee is, and I'll tack it on to the next one. And she was like, oh, you're fine, but also to be fair, like I was her best tenant, because like especially it's real easy to do in an apartment complex because like there are plenty of just shit tenants, right, that like leave their fucking leave their trash out or have like all this crazy shit. And also like one of my neighbors would always take my parking spot, and like um they didn't know I didn't have a fucking car. Why are you taking my parking spot, bro? um,
Oh, they were
um,
studying you to make sure.
Yeah, yeah, they were. But so funny enough, they got really pissed off too because they would take my parking spot, and it like again for the most part I didn't give a shit because I didn't have a car for the most part. But then like Deanna and I got together and I got my motorcycle, and so then I did have a vehicle, or like she would come and she would have her car, right? Um, and so one time they parked in my spot. So I told her, I was like, fuck that, park in their spot, bruh. I was like, no, they're fucking they started it. Fuck those guys. Um
Yeah,
and
I accidentally, since we're talking about parking
yeah.
spaces and assigned parking and everything, I accidentally snagged somebody's spot at an apartment for like 3 or 4 hours.
Oh
And
no.
I came out and they were calling the tow truck, right? They were like standing there pissed as fuck about the whole thing.
No.
And I woke up and I'm like, hey, I'm leaving. So, like, there's nothing you can do, right?
Yeah.
But I'm
Sorry.
sorry. For what it's worth, I didn't know that it was an assigned spot, right?
Yeah.
And then she did not have any of it. Was just like, you have no fucking idea. I go to work in San Francisco and I drive an hour each way and I come home to this. Fuck you. She was so pissed. And
Yeah.
I was like, hey, man, thankfully I didn't get myself towed. But,
Yeah, right?
You just offered like, I'll move it, I'll move it.
well, I mean, I was like, I am moving it.
Hey,
Like,
he was
lady, get
leaving.
out of my way.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
thankfully, she wasn't insane or anything and tried to like put her body behind my car so I couldn't back out or something.
She
Right.
just
No, no, no,
slashed
you're
his
gonna wait for the
tires so
tow
she couldn't
truck.
leave.
Yeah,
That's actually like to some extent, like I've dealt with like complex parking and stuff like that, so like I understand where people are coming from, but to an extent, like again, like I feel like you could also just as easily like in smaller complexes, like if you know people, like just go up to them, be like, hey, like you're in my spot. Like I had we had our neighbor, our well, like one of our neighbors at the last townhouse we stayed in, he towed one of the other's neighbor's cars. Like didn't like go knock on his door or anything like that. He just had his girlfriend call up a fucking tow truck and have their car towed. And then like they wouldn't like the people like tried to like come and talk to them and just be like, "Hey, like we're sorry, but like why didn't can you just come talk to us next time?" And like they were just like didn't wouldn't answer the door. Like wouldn't answer the door, wouldn't talk to him and all. I was like, "Wow." I was like, "That's a real easy way to show you're a piece of shit." Like, congrats, guy. Like nobody is gonna fuck with you around here anymore. Like and
Yeah.
but like I know like that kind of communal kind of living it gets complex. Like people just don't fucking play well with each other. But it's just one of those things. Got to learn. And to be fair, like Deanna's kind of like that too, where she always has an issue with our neighbors. I I I half the time I've never had an issue with any of my neighbors. They probably all hate me, but I've never had an issue with any of them.
If they do, they
Okay.
didn't let you know. So
Yeah, no, they just like we'd be like, "Hey, how's it going, buddy?" And he's like, "Hey, fuck you," like under his breath. um, but no, and I remember my first apartment, like this guy and his girl were always fighting. Like I remember one time I woke up, I think the had stayed the night, but like I finally woke up around 9 and like they were arguing and Deanna was like already up and about and she was like, "Yeah, they fucking woke me up with their arguing," and I was like, "Oh, really?" I was like, "It didn't wake me up." But yeah, she's funny like that.
maybe
What
do
else?
anything fun for the weekend or for the week last week or anything like go to the movies? Anything go to the movies last week?
No, but I did want to talk about the movie, so if you guys have a second.
Yeah.
Get it off your chest, Vanessa. What do you got?
Cool. I I'm a movie person and I watch all my movies, I log them, I rate them. I keep a diary of every movie that I watch. Leave a little personal review for myself to refer back to. That way when I'm offering my film advice to a friend, not in
Hmm.
like a pretentious way, but like in an honest, like this is my opinion. Yes,
Yeah.
you should watch it or like no, you shouldn't. I don't understand nor enjoy the idea of IMAX. It's just more
Right.
expensive.
Hmm.
I don't know. Sit in the front rows at your local theater.
Yeah, I mean,
Save yourself some money.
I don't have any numbers on like the difference in size of the screens, but I have been in both a regular, a
Right.
regular everyday movie theater and an IMAX theater, and I can tell you that an IMAX screen is very, very much bigger. But
It is
like you
bigger.
said, just if you really want that kind of experience, go to a regular theater and just sit like in the first, second,
Sit
or
in the
third
neck
row.
break seats. Yeah.
Yeah, neck
I
breaker
don't.
seats. Get one of those things that they wear when you're like trying to sleep on an airplane flight.
Yes,
Like
exactly. I don't know. It just feels more expensive and for what?
yeah, like is somebody gonna come out and serve me? Is somebody gonna come out and uncork champagne for me in the middle of the scene?
Right. Right. No, seriously, is Chris Pratt gonna run across the screen like being chased by dinosaurs right now? What kind of an experience am I paying for?
Yeah, they
The
So
also
I
say
don't.
that they also say the audio is better
The
too, but
audio.
mm.
I didn't notice that personally, but my ears are crap. Like 10 years ago, I stood in front of this really large, like 28-foot tall amp stack, and my right ear has not been the same since.
Oh
Should have wore
no.
ear
For
pro.
the price of all of your IMAX tickets through the years, buy yourself an audio system at home.
That's a good point because then you can
Stick
share it with your
yourself
buddies.
exactly, and they don't have to pay fucking $30 for a movie.
The the last time we went, this was actually years ago, and I'm pretty sure I went with like my dad, sibling, and cousin. So it was like four of us or something like that. It was like three or four of us. And it was literally like with tickets and then like popcorn, it was like
Mm-hmm.
$100. And this was like
Yep.
10 plus years ago because I was like not of legal age yet, right? So this was
Yeah,
at
ticket
least
prices
10
were
years
like
ago.
half that back then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like fuck that. Let's just go sneak in through the back, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
Just sit next to the outdoor and wait for people to leave. Yeah, no, I know
Exactly,
that trick.
exactly.
Everybody knows that trick.
Yeah, because I
Oh,
enjoy regular movie theaters. However, like the whole IMAX experience for the
Yeah.
price, to me, it doesn't even itself out. I am an icy and popcorn girl at the movie. Like, I'm not watching a movie at home. I want to make it feel a little more special. So I'll do my half and half, my Coke and cherry slush, and chill on some popcorn. I can't even imagine what that would cost me at an IMAX theater.
yeah, it's all inflated. I went. It's still expensive, even if you go to the
It's
regular
so
theater.
expensive.
I
It
went and
is.
saw I went and saw Dune Part Two recently in
Did you
Did you
get
get
the
theater.
that
bucket?
popcorn
Did you
bucket?
get the bucket?
Yeah, so one of us got the
You-
bucket, and I want to say it was like $18 for the bucket, and then
hey,
one of us got like,
lifetime use.
yeah,
Yeah.
right. You can come back and keep using it. Yeah, like I'm gonna keep that freaking thing. And then like if you want basic like boxed candy that they sell there too, right? It's again double. Practically
Yeah.
all the prices are double. You know, I mean,
Why are we spending $7 on M&Ms?
yeah, $6 a box for Reese's or something like that.
Vance, have you seen all the memes around the Dune bucket? You have not, have you?
As you
No, I
should. You
have.
seem
Because that's
so
exactly where
innocent
both
and
that's
blasé.
that's where immediately where my mind went was like you said you got the fucking Dune bucket, and
Yeah.
that's what I was gonna ask Vanessa. I was like,
No, I didn't get that one. No. I just got like a regular
Oh,
big like popcorn box, right?
okay.
But no,
Sure.
I've seen
You didn't
the
get
meme.
the 21 plus
I just feel like
version.
I
Yeah,
just
no,
feel like
I've seen the memes. People are saying, yeah, I'll take the Dune 2 popcorn bucket, all butter, hold the popcorn.
Oh, shit.
or I saw one where it was a guy panting and sweaty, and he busts into his girlfriend's apartment, and he's like, "Babe, I lied. I would still love you if you were a worm." With holding the Dune bucket.
Stop.
No way.
That is fucking foul. Oh
Oh,
my god.
there was a clip I saw of a guy that actually had a rideable like prop worm that he made, and he was riding it
I
around the
saw that.
lobby, riding it
But guess
around the
what
lobby
movie
of the
he's
theater. Yeah,
seen?
no, it looked awesome. He had a whole costume, all Gaib or whatever the hell the guy's name is. But
I
yeah,
just want to
no,
say that Vanessa, your movie experience is never going to be the same because now, like any like rom com you go into, you're going to see some guy walking in with the Dune bucket. Any movie with Scarlett
Stop.
Johansson, you're going to see some guy walking in with the Dune bucket, and you're going to be like, you're going to see which movie they walk into and be like, oh no, they're not walking into Dune right now.
Like, oh no, Sydney Sweeney must be in that one.
Yeah, you're gonna be like, I'm gonna need
No.
to, maybe you're gonna start sitting in the neck break seats to avoid people. You know what I'm saying? Not for the
Yeah.
IMAX experience. That's so funny. I feel like honestly, in general, I've never really done like a ton of movies. I just feel like I don't keep up with like what's coming out, what's out, like any of that stuff. Aside from the memes, obviously. But like I don't fucking keep up with it, man. I didn't like there's so many movies where like I'll see not on like Netflix, but on like the smart TV, I'll see like the ads and shit for them,
Yeah.
and I'm like, holy shit, I didn't know that was out. I have like I probably have like dozens of movies that when I saw like the first ad for them, I was like, oh shit, I gotta watch that. And then now it's been like 3 years. And I'm like, oh, that finally came out? Like, no, bro, it came out like 3 years ago.
yeah, no, I'm not one to keep up with the brand new trailers or anything like that either. I'll watch a movie if I hear a recommendation about something or anything like that. When I was a kid, though, like Lord of the Rings and stuff like that, I would go
Yes.
to opening night with my
Hmm.
dad and my mom. That was good fun. Watch. I saw Fellowship with the Ring in theaters on opening night, which was pretty crazy.
That's an awesome story just in itself.
That is cool.
That's
Fun
awesome.
fact: have you ever watched any of the Lord of the Rings like uncut editors edition?
I do every year.
Holy shit,
Every year, and all three of them together, it's like Fellowship Extended is like 4.5 hours.
dude!
Yeah.
Hours is like 4 hours, and then the Return of the King is like five or something crazy like that.
Like I remember me, Bishop, and my dad tried to get through one of them like one time, dude. One time, and we were like watching and like, but also playing like WoW in the background and shit like that. And it felt like the whole day went by, and this movie was still fucking playing, and we were like, Jesus
It really
Christ, is it?
is.
Is it? We checked to see if it's almost over. It still had like an hour. I was like, oh my god. I was like, what the fuck is happening right now? Wow, that's crazy that you watch that shit every year. Do you have like, is it for like a holiday or anything like that? Do you guys have like a
Yeah, is it
special
Usually,
like a
like?
yeah.
seasonal
Well,
experience?
what we'll do. So this is like the week of Thanksgiving. Like as soon as Thanksgiving comes up, right, and then the whole week after, we'll do this thing where we have these blended drinks that we call gin fizzes, which are basically like frozen orange Julius's, and they're really damn good, but very dangerous because they taste very good, and you can't taste the gin in them like practically at all. And there's like four shots of gin in each drink,
Oh
so
shit.
we'll just get hammered on Thanksgiving and watch the extended edition.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I feel
That
like I
makes
would
the
fall
time go by.
asleep. That would bum me out to fall asleep during that.
Oh yeah, yeah, that
Dude,
too.
But the gin would knock me out.
I saw, get this, I saw an ad for a jumbo Jenga tower where the blocks had shots in them, had shot glasses in them. So like if you pulled a certain block, you would have to take shots.
Oh, that's easy though. You can do that with a regular Jenga set or larger. I've seen like regular Jenga block sets that are like this large, and then I've seen them where they have like
Yeah,
big
the
blocks. But you could just
jumbo.
put a sticker. You could put stickers on them instead. Because
Oh shit.
putting the shots in there sounds like way too risky. Like, what am I going to do? Knock over 12 shots? That sounds like shit.
Yeah, just right on the block.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's a good idea until the first time some you just end up with fucking glass all over your floor. You're like,
Hmm.
who came up with this
That's an
fucking
idea
idea?
you have when you've already been drinking. It's like,
Yeah,
let's do Jenga for shots.
dude.
Yeah, yeah. Usually that's when it comes up at the worst time.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
So so you're into movies. That's cool. Do you have any
Yes.
like TV shows that you are adamant that everybody should at least give a shot? Are there any really good ones for
Ooh.
you?
I really, really like what we do in the shadows.
I've
Have
heard
you guys
really good
seen?
things about that one.
It's
Yeah.
so good.
There's an actor on that show. His name's Matt Berry, and he
Yes.
had a part. He had a part in the IT Crowd, which is an old show. It almost reminds me of Friends, but it's about these guys that work in IT in Britain, and it's fucking hilarious. Richard Iotti is also on that show, and he's done all sorts of stuff. He actually had a voice credit on The Mandalorian. He did voice for a droid or something like that. Oddly
Cool.
enough, but yeah. Anyway, so what we do in the shadows.
What we do in the shadows is so fucking fun. It's so good. I was really skeptical about it at first though because I just take vampires so seriously for some reason. I just always have since the first time I read Dracula. I
Wow.
am just like this is like vampires got to be done correct.
Yeah. Did you ever
And
watch they had a show like I think it was called True Blood along like
Mm.
a while back?
yeah, I read True Blood. I didn't watch it because again, I take them too serious. So
Yeah.
it took me a really long time. I think season 2 had to come out for me to finally be like, fine, I will watch it and I'll see if I think it's funny or if that's how vampires are. And
What?
yeah, it checks out.
Where can you find that show?
Hulu, I believe. It's on Hulu
Hulu.
currently.
Hmm. I'm
Yeah,
not
it's
gonna
like in I
lie.
think it's FX.
Also, a new movie on Netflix just came out, The Day Shift, with Jamie Foxx and Snoop Dogg. It's not
Oh,
terrible.
that sounds like
If
a
you,
good combination.
yeah, it wasn't. It's not terrible. One of the younger Franco brothers in it too. It's like it's a little bit of comedy, a little bit of action. If you're just looking for something to kind of like not anything serious. If you're one of those guys who has to watch something for the plot, probably not for you, buddy. But if you're looking for
Skip that
a
one.
little bit of action, some laughs, some stupid comedy, like it's pretty good. Me and Deanna watched it, and I feel like I have watched like maybe not every, but I've watched almost every like any sort of like supernatural show like that, Vanessa. I fucking not I don't love them for like the vampire or the supernatural. Like I'm not a fucking Twilight, right? Like I'm not a teenage girl hooked on Twilight. Um, but like I loved Supernatural. I feel like normally I can get into like those shows, but I prefer like I like the violent ones. I don't like Twilight, not for me. Like, you know what I mean? Like
Did you
um
watch what is it? Winona Earp? Is that what it was
oh yeah,
called?
yeah, yeah. It is Wyona Earp, right? Yeah, that one wasn't too
Yeah.
bad.
Did you watch that?
Mhm. I
It's pretty
think
gay.
is it? I feel
Yes, there were lesbians in it.
oh, I mean that's fine. That's
That's why
fine.
I watched it.
Because they were gay? I don't even remember who was gay. I remember
The
Well,
advertising is working.
I remember the uh the main character Wyona she was in between like two guys. It was like Doc Holliday, who's like the old grizzled, you know what I mean, like cowboy, and then the other guy, the African American like special agent or something like that. But he turns out to be
yeah.
like some sort of like supernatural type shit too. But it was interesting, like the contrast between them. Like Doc Holliday was like the bad boy, you know what I mean, and the other guy was like the by the book. I obviously like the Doc Holliday, right? Like the fucking bad boy, rugged
Yeah. We
cowboy.
watched
Like
it for different reasons.
yeah, 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 yeah. The what other ones have you watched?
Oh, I don't know. I'd have to like look at a master list and go off of that.
There was a
Because
pretty good
I'm,
show that I watched like last week that was called Mr. In Between. It's an Australian
I
show.
fucking love that show, dude. I probably just fucked up my audio because I fucking yelled, but I love that fucking show, dude. I'm so sad that they just didn't run it out for like 10, 15 seasons because I could watch that fucking show every fucking day. It was so good.
Yeah, yeah, me too. The premise is basically an Australian hitman. He is raising a daughter with a divorced wife, so
Mhm.
he's kind of trying to have the work life balance, but he does kill people for a living, so it's kind of
Right.
hard. And though the show covers all that, and
Mhm.
in a really good way, I think. And the actor, the guy that plays that guy, is actually the same actor that played the same character in the movie that inspired that whole thing. It's called The Magician. I didn't realize that. It was
okay.
from
Oh, I didn't realize that.
2006. Yeah, so apparently, I think the plot of The Magician is that this is long time down the road, and he gets out of prison or he escapes prison. I forget which one, and he gets somebody to. So it's like a film student that he finds that he's like, okay, I want you to like record what I'm going to say and like the stories that I'm going to tell you, and Mr. In Between is some of those stories, I think, or like some of his past that he talks about in the movie from I think, like I said, 2006. It's called The Magician,
No
and
shit. I'm
Okay.
gonna have to find that
it's
now.
been pretty cool.
Yeah.
I tend to get sucked into those shows too, like the more violent ones. You know, I love it when people hit each other. I like when things go bang. I don't know. I don't know.
But
So I
like Mr. In Between is also like really like I feel like there's a lot of comedy behind it too. Like it's
yeah.
very much like maybe it's like would it be considered like more dry humor? I don't know what the fuck that means.
You know what show it reminds me of? Actually, now that I
What's
think
that?
about it, it's Australian Barry. Have you seen Barry?
No,
I've seen
I don't
Barry.
think so.
Barry is a fucking good show.
I
Is
need
that
to
with the
finish
deer
it.
and
I keep getting stuck on it. I do need to finish it.
The ending's good but abrupt. So the show Barry. Do you know Bill Hader, Steven?
no?
Okay, he was on SNL. You might recognize his face, but maybe not
Yeah, probably.
his work or anything.
Yeah.
He used to be on SNL, but he's a fucking hilarious guy. Like he just has that awkward delivery, like everything like perfect,
Yeah.
and like the nonchalantness. But it's basically the same exact story. It's that Bill Hader plays a hitman, and he also wants to become an actor. So he gets
Oh,
sucked into this acting class in Los Angeles
yeah.
and like gets involved with the teacher and people in the class, and then he's like, well, I guess I'll just do both of these things, and eventually the show shows you what happens. It's really good. I would recommend watching that one too. I think you can find it on Netflix.
Netflix. I'm
Um,
gonna have to check
Yeah,
that one out.
yeah,
I
but
think so. Or HBO or something like that.
Yeah.
one of the shows that I watched this year as well that isn't as violent, but it's also really funny as Dave. It's about Little Dicky. Have you guys
Oh,
ever heard of
oh, I
this
think.
rapper?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I've heard of Lil Dicky. I had a friend in high school who was quite into Lil Dicky.
So I was in Little Dicky. I was an original Dixter. I don't know what you want to call it, but in like
Dexter
2015,
works.
he had stuff before 2015, but like in 2015, my friend and I got really into him, and we went to San Luis Obispo to see him perform live at a concert in like 2015. It was really fun. But there's a
Wow.
song there's a song that I really like by him. It's called "Save That Money." It's just the whole premise of the video and of the song is how can we make like the most epic rap video for no money is his own words what he was
Hmm.
trying to do. So he goes around to like Los Angeles, Beverly Hills neighborhoods, just petitions people on the like knocks on their door and is like, "Hey, my name's Dave. I'm a rapper," and he's just like the funny thing is he's totally unassuming. He is a white, curly haired Jewish guy, and he doesn't have any rap ishness about him at all. Like you wouldn't expect it looking at him. So people
Yeah.
are like talking to him, and they made this video in this song called "Save That Money." It's really funny. You should watch it if you haven't seen it.
Yeah.
He gets into like nightclubs and stuff for free. He like parties with T-Pain, like and does like all sorts of funny stuff. But this show is a drama about it's like the fake history of him being a rapper. Like it's
Yeah.
making fun of like stories that he wants to tell or whatever, and
Yeah.
it's also really funny. Good comedy.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. I wrote all those fucking down. That's hella funny though. What? Fuck. I had something struck there for me, and I think I lost it. What do you got, Vanessa?
I mean, what are we chatting about? I feel like I'm just having a great time. What do you want to know?
Well, you have to go here in a few. Yeah.
I could spare about like another like 20 minutes.
Oh, love that. Okay.
Yeah, I could spare 20.
Let me write that down so I actually, or else I'll just keep going. Um, Interesting. Okay. I wrote all of those down, but you should for sure check out Vanessa. Check out Mister In Between. I fucking love that one. I'm gonna have to
I wrote it
rewatch.
down.
I'm gonna have to rewatch it now that you brought it up because I watched it um, back towards like when it ended back a couple years ago at this point. Um, so now I gotta go through. I also I like a couple of like the older shows. Like I really liked Psych. Um, I thought that one was pretty good.
Okay.
That one probably not for everybody because um like the main character is like he's just goofy. He's a goofball. That's not like my normal show style. I prefer like the grizzled, like the House MDs. House MD is a perfect representation of like that's probably my favorite show. And I love it just because like House MD is the embodiment of like my favorite character archetype. Just an absolute grizzled asshole, but people have to work with him. um, I really like that one. But also, I know some people who don't like those type of shows, who don't like those type of characters. So again,
Yeah.
might be one that's not for everybody, but personally a favorite.
Like
Um,
personally for me, I am not a really huge fan of most superhero stuff. Like some of
hmm,
it's okay. Like I
yeah,
really really like the Dark Knight stuff.
really.
Okay.
Great movies in my opinion. But I'm just not like I don't watch Superman. I don't watch like Spider-Man movies usually. All like when I was a kid, I watched the Tobey Maguire stuff, but I don't really stick to any of that. So some people just like different stuff.
Yeah, I'm not.
Okay. Have
I'm
you
not.
seen the Lego Batman movie?
No, I didn't know there was one.
Watch Lego Batman. I swear by it.
Lego Batman, huh?
Lego Batman. It's so good.
Good, funny.
It's just I feel like it's an excellent representation of Batman. I think it's like it tells the story so well, and I don't know, it's just really good. It's my favorite Batman movie, and I have seen Batman.
I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm immediately gonna make a bajillion enemies out in the world, but I think Superman and Batman are both overrated, dude. Obviously I'm not. By that you already know, like I'm not like a huge DC guy. Um,
Sure, I
not
prefer. I'm a Marvel person over DC,
and
but
like even Marvel, I'm not like a diehard Marvel fan. Like it's not like everything that like it's not like Marvel shits gold or anything like that, right? Like they got some characters where it's like meh. Um, but like Superman and Batman are so overrated. Like I'm sorry, but like first of all, Superman bullshit, bro. If you're a Superman fan, I'm sorry. We disagree on a lot, okay? You're telling me that the only fucking this guy's only weakness is a fucking rock? Oh, get the fuck out of here, okay? Um like absolute bullshit, dude. Like people just want like that fucking that godly archetype that like you know what I mean?
hmm
Like nobody can fucking beat this guy. No, fuck you, bro. Shove that rock right up his ass and get him out of here. Um
See, it's funny you say that because I feel the same exact way, but yet I love like classic Western flicks where there's just like, oh hey,
mm,
yeah, I'm gonna take on five of you.
yeah, yeah,
Bam,
yeah.
bam, bam,
Well,
bam, bam. It's like I can't be touched, right?
well, see, if it's a matter of skill, like I can appreciate that. Like, right, like an equalizer where this guy's just this fucking old school CIA fucking guy, and he just clears a fucking room, right, in 16 seconds because he's just, you know what I mean. He's got the skills. You know what I mean. Like these guys just are. They're not at the same level. But Superman, it's just like you know what I mean. Like he was what he's on a fucking he's just on the right planet, bro. If he was among other fucking Kryptonian motherfuckers, look, General Zor or whoever the fuck almost beat his ass in that first movie. Why? Why? Because it's another Kryptonian, bro. All of a sudden, this motherfucker's on equal footing, okay? And he got his shit rocked.
Not
Let's
so
be
tough
clear.
now that 9 mils don't bounce
Yeah,
off you.
yeah, right. Who's the bitch now? And uh, to be fair, I did like the Dark Knight with Christian Bale. Is that who did like that trilogy? That one I kind of got behind. I think for whatever reason, and I haven't watched like a ton of the other ones, so it's not like I'm, you know what I mean? Like I've watched every fucking Batman movie and I hate them all. Like no, that's not what I'm saying. I think the character, like, I think he's a little self righteous for my liking in general. You know what I mean? But I think Christian Bale did a really good job. I thought that trilogy was really good. Heath Ledger as the Joker was actually insane. Like I didn't like the Joaquin Phoenix. I didn't like the Joker from like Suicide Squad. I think it was like Jay Leto or something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah, I didn't like any of that. But the or the Christian Bale ones were really good. With Tom Hardy, I think played Bane, right, in that trilogy. I thought it was Tom Hardy. I could be wrong. Um, but I thought that one was actually pretty good. But I thought it was just like it's not because I like Batman. It's because like they probably just did a good job, right? And just overall the general consensus was probably
yeah, you're
just
right. It was Tom Hardy.
it
Wow.
was Tom
yeah,
Hardy. I pulled that up as well.
yeah. No, I thought so. He's talked about it. He said I feel like he said like he was super unhealthy when he played Bane. He was like because he like bulked up and got so big.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, he felt I think he hated it. Is it what like he tells reporters and shit like that. But again, it's not because I'm like a Batman fan or anything like that. Because I feel like he is almost like a parallel. It's weird. He's like a combination of like on the Marvel side, like Captain America and Iron Man, right? Where he's like this
hmm
billionaire playboy, but then he's also super self righteous. And it's like on the
Yeah.
Marvel side, I don't like Captain America either. So it's not all just DC shit. I don't like Captain America. He's a little self righteous for my side, right? Like, um, I prefer like the people. I want people with character. I want superheroes that aren't great superheroes. They're like, you know what I mean? Like Tony Stark and Iron Man in the first one where he's like really just a playboy and he's really just getting himself into trouble. He's just like he's too smart for his own good, and so he makes boom shit. You know what I mean? Like that's what I like. The Boys. Have you guys ever seen The Boys?
I was gonna say,
I have not seen The Boys.
I said that I don't like superhero stuff, and yet I absolutely loved watching The Boys. It was fun, fun to watch,
It
fun to
is.
watch.
It's so great. Those are the kind of superheroes I like because they're just like they're humans with they hit the lottery, which is what we really have in the world, right? We have some people who just hit like some sort of genetic lottery. They're either a freak athlete or they're in, you know what I mean, like actors and people in Hollywood. Like, what talent do they have? I don't know. But like we have people like that in society, right? Where they just have like so many resources at their disposal. But at the end of the day, it's not because they're like smart or better than anybody, right? It's like some people just got lucky. And some people, did put work behind it, but it's not that they're like transcendent or anything like that. I think that's probably why I like those type of movies because in The Boys, or that's a show, excuse me, it's not a movie. But in The Boys, like it's a bunch of superheroes and shit like that, but they're all fucking degenerates. And
Yeah,
that's why it's so great
all
because
terrible people.
it's like wow, this is very much more of a real life scenario where these guys just happen to have superheroes, but they're all
And that's
fucking
appreciated. I like that.
yeah. I love it. I love it. The characters are funny. Um, Jensen Ackles playing is the I forget who the fuck the superhero's name was, Soldier Boy or something like that. Jensen Ackles, I love him in that as Soldier Boy, um, because he just plays like your grandpa, like your great grandpa. You know what I mean? But he's like super strong and has superpowers. Um, but he's like racist and
The old ways.
Can't
yeah,
have it all.
yeah. It's like yeah. Those are
He's also a chronic drugs abuser.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, he. I'm not. No, I'm not
my
even
my
gonna go
favorite
down
is
that.
there's a scene in the show where he's like walking around in a forest and he's like all paranoid and he insists that he gets to smoke more marijuana.
Yes.
It's like you're a superhero and you're paranoid as hell and you're dangerous and you want to get more paranoid. Okay,
Yeah.
I
He's
thought
like
that was
he's
really
like
funny.
always he's like always smoking a joint. I feel like he's like
Funny character,
smoking a joint in like every episode.
but
It's so
yeah,
funny. Yeah, Vanessa. So write those two down. I don't
I did.
honestly
I got
the
that.
the boys is not for everybody. I'm just gonna tell you. It's very raunchy. It's very like gruesome. Um,
Okay.
it is just go into it with an open mind and an open heart and just watch through the whole thing because we asked you to.
I'll do my homework.
um, but yeah, you're gonna come back with a whole new view on life. Like you're gonna be like, wow, I will never take their advice again. That was literally the worst thing I could have imagined, and I just don't want to close my eyes because I just see frames from that show.
oh, if you like gritty like drama movies, there's one about Russian mobsters. I think it was like 2006 or seven. It's called Eastern Promises, and it's got Viggo Mortensen in it. And it's a really
Eastern Promises?
Eastern Promises is the name of the flick. I
Okay.
watched it recently. Little slow burner, but eventually they get a little twist in there and reinterests you. And then there's like some pretty good bloody scenes in there if you're up for those. But it's not like super gory or anything. It's just like, oh, look at that red water. you know.
Or if you like kind of criminal style dramas, I actually really like Blacklist. That's one.
Blacklist?
Yeah,
Okay.
I've not
Blacklist.
heard of
I
that
really
one.
like that one. Yeah, it's so the short version is like the FBI, the guy on the FBI's most wanted, he turns himself in and starts working with the FBI to bring down like underground criminal like organizations that like people
Oh,
have
I
never
think
heard of.
I've heard about
It's
that.
it's really good. I like
Okay.
it. The main character is a fucking stud, bro. He's like, you know what I'm saying? Like a mixture between like who knows, fucking probably like Al Capone and Gandhi. Um,
Wow.
yeah, like
What
mob
a
boss.
stud.
Like yeah, like he's a mob boss. You know what I mean? Like he has like a criminal empire, but then also like he's kind of a chill guy sometimes. You know what I mean? But it's like yeah, you just don't want to be caught in the wrong with him, or else obviously it's not great.
Have you seen Sicario, Steven?
I don't think so. I think I've seen parts of it. That's a movie, right?
Yeah, that's Josh Brolin,
Hmm.
Benicio del Toro, and Isabel. I can never remember her last name, but pretty good flick about Benicio del Toro's character comes in like partway into it.
Hmm.
Isabel's character is actually kind of the main character, and
Yeah.
her like moral dilemma after she has to work with the CIA and sees how they operate.
Yeah.
But Benicio del Toro's character is a former prosecutor from like really bad areas of Mexico against the cartels. Like he was a
Yeah.
cartel prosecutor pretty much. Was tired of constantly losing the legal battle, so
Mm.
when the CIA came to him and offered him the opportunity to just kind of kill with impunity as he saw fit, he
Yeah.
was like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" So it's
Oh shit.
kind of a weird like power trip thing going on there, but I really liked it because Isabel's character is part of like a local police force and then gets kind of conscripted or not conscripted, but rather like kind of recruited rather to
Yeah.
join on to this like CIA thing, and seeing her and her like constant back and forth like moral dilemma, like you can see like very good facial acting going on,
Yeah.
from the characters. It's pretty good, and Josh Brolin it acts as this CIA guy that just like walks around in like cargo shorts and flip flops and like Hawaiian shirts,
Yeah.
and just like is very obvious and blatant, and it's a good one. So it's another good flick.
Vance, I wonder if you like violence, you might like Reacher. If you haven't seen that one,
Yeah,
um,
I've seen a couple episodes of that.
yeah, I think that one's pretty good. Like it's got some pretty good action scenes. It's not super gory, but the action scenes are cool. I think um, I'm gonna fuck his name up. Alan Ritson something. Alan
Can't
R.
remember.
Yeah, I can't remember either. But dude, he is a behemoth of a fucking man. I mean, the man is like 6'5". Vanessa, if you haven't seen it, you should check it out. If nothing else, because Alan R. is yeah, Alan R.
What's it
Alan
called again?
Reacher.
Reacher. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And if nothing else, because Alan R. is a behemoth of a man. He's just an absolute beefcake, dude. If you're, you know what I'm saying. He's got a few shirtless scenes in there, ladies. If that's what you're looking for, he's a whole lot of man to look at. You know what I'm saying?
You know what? Not like I'm definitely keeping track of how many like buff men there are in the shows that I watch, but there's another show with a really good male lead actor plays kind of like the sentinel, like defender of the
Hmm.
good people in
Yeah.
the Punisher TV show. John Bernthal
Oh
Yeah.
my
plays
God.
a man
That's like one of the only men that I would thirst over. When I finished the
Damn.
Punisher series, oh my
That
God.
one's
when he
good.
was on
I think he
Daredevil
does a
as
good
well.
job too. I think he does a really good job.
Yeah, he definitely cared about the role he was portraying. He has a short story that he likes to tell or has told in the past of him getting notified that he's going into the role and
Yeah.
him doing his research by just going to like comic stores, and somebody recognized who he was and was like, "Hey, dude, I see that you're buying a bunch of Punisher comic books,
Yeah.
and you're a very well-known actor that everybody thinks would be a great fit for that. So
Hmm.
why don't I show you like how like what should be portrayed of the character?" So it seems like he got a nerd to basically help him understand where to look to find like the descriptions of how to be that character. So he very much cared about it, and it shows because even in Daredevil and even in the Punisher, both of those roles he plays there, he's really fucking good at that.
Yeah. I thought he did a really good job. Honestly, I really liked because it makes. I feel like he adds to like both parts of the roles, right? Where he's like obviously like he's out for vengeance and obviously like really,
He
deep.
did the vigilante
Hmm.
thing so
Yeah,
well.
yeah. But also like he was able to play it like when you have to play both sides to where you can also like get people on your side and play a little sympathetic. You know what I mean? And I thought he did really well on both. And I
Yeah,
think
very good.
those are kind of the show. Those are like also another favorite character like archetype of mine is like the guy who's kind of a piece of shit, but like he's a piece of shit for complex reasons. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like you know what I mean? Like yeah, like he's done some shit. Like you don't agree with everything, but like he'll grow on you. It's
he
not.
does. Yeah,
It's yeah, and that's why I like that one. That's why I like Jensen Ackles too. Jensen Ackles in Supernatural is kind of like that, where he's just like you know sex, booze, killing things.
yeah. There's other good actors and actresses on those shows too, like Amber Rose,
Hmm.
I think is her name, who plays Dina, one of the characters, Dina
Hmm.
Madani.
Yeah,
Um, Ben Barnes played Billy in the Punisher as well. I liked all those people's performances. I didn't think that it was cheesy or not believable.
yeah.
So right on.
All right, Vanessa, you're watching the clock. I know you got to go. Are you ready?
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I'm actually like making a master doc for all of these. I'm like going off of my little list to my Google Drive so I can remember.
That's hella cool. Look,
Yeah, I got
she's
Reacher,
gonna.
Blacklist, Mr. In Between, The Boys, and Eastern Promises.
Oh, she's got a shit
So,
list.
and I have good notes for Reacher. It says Alan R equals beefcake. So,
He is a dude. I swear, like he's an absolute. He's an ape. He's an ape. I don't know how much like the man has straight Neanderthal in him. Like,
I'm not gonna Google anything before I start watching
I
it. I
mean,
just want to be
You can Google Alan R just to mentally prepare yourself for the amount of man that you're gonna. You
Alan
know what I mean?
Alan Richson is his name.
Richson.
Alan
Yeah, yeah,
Richson.
yeah,
rich. Okay.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I want to watch it and then see who comes on the screen and be like, which one is the beefcake? See if I
Yo,
can tell right away.
no, bro. No, bro. He's insane. He's dude, like, and to have that physique at that size, absolutely insane. The man is we're talking like washboard abs
Okay, I'm
and
gonna
like
Google him.
and like 260 pounds, man. This guy is fucking insane. Um, absolutely like superhuman. Um,
Let's
yeah,
see.
that's gonna be our next
Oh,
insane, right? I wish you could share your fucking screen because our female viewership would go through the fucking roof just by clicking that
yeah.
photo.
What the?
Insane, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I fucking told you. You're welcome.
Wow.
You're welcome. You and your partner can thank me later. Okay?
Right on.
But yeah,
Yeah. He
I
looks
think you
like
guys
a
would like
mix
that one.
of like the last maybe like five sexiest men alive. You know the people cover. He looks like that, but like all smashed together.
Yeah, as in like you literally like they were just clay and then you molded them all into one man. That's Alan Ritson.
Is
Dude.
that all natural?
I don't, bro. I don't
I mean,
know.
he looks like he could be. I mean, I don't claim to be an authority
The better question is,
on.
does it matter? Like,
Well,
you know,
it depends on what you think about it. But if your goal is to look a certain way, then that is a way to do it. So
I
Yeah,
mean,
wow.
he's not he's not competing in any like sport. Like he's just acting and being nominated for sexiest man alive 2023, 2024, and probably 2025. Um, you know, he's not playing
Yeah,
professional
I mean,
football
I
or
think we
anything.
can stop the search. I think we got him.
No, it actually insane. The man is huge, dude. But also um if you guys like ever go to a strongman events, that's another thing I love is that like standing next to these guys is just like even Vance, dude, you would feel small. I'm gonna take you out to one of these competitions one time because like you stand next to these guys and you're just like, sir, like
it's a building. Yeah, some people are freaking buildings, man.
Yeah.
yeah. I at the Shaw Classic, one of the last competitions I went to, There was a cardboard cutout of Brian Shaw, who's a really well-known competitor. There was like a cutout. There was a cutout of this guy, and so obviously I stood next to it, um, to feel inadequate. Um,
You're the reference before the Olympics.
Like we were talking, yeah.
exactly. Where I stand up next to this man, and he could, if he put his arm up, I could just walk under. Like I could literally just walk under.
Quite humbling.
Yeah, it really is, man. You're just like, just to know, like, imagine if this guy was robbing fucking houses, bro. Like, we should thank God every night that these athletes didn't choose a life of crime, because if this man breaks into your house, what are you gonna do? Like, not a goddamn
there
thing,
there's a very popular saying amongst Americans: God created man, and Samuel Colt made them equal.
bro. If you would need a big fucking, you think this guy's gonna go down with 1.9 millimeter?
Well, see, that's the thing. You got to get the
Okay,
right
now
tool
we're
for the
talking
job,
about
man.
like
You got to get the
No,
right tool for the job. Then.
no,
No, no.
bro. This guy, and just to be clear, you have to remember these guys are like all six. These guys are all taller than you. Okay, so they're gonna take one step in your door, and they're at your door. They're at your room already. Like, you know what I'm saying? These motherfuckers, like,
you get
no.
no warning.
No, literally none. Like, they are just they're your door is gonna be locked. They're gonna walk through it, and they're gonna be in your bedroom. Like, no, bro, there is not a goddamn thing you could do to stop these guys, man.
Yeah,
Some,
no,
like,
I'm just fucking around.
maybe not. Maybe some of them probably. Like, some of the smaller athletes, you could probably take them down. I'm not gonna lie. You know what I'm saying? Like a couple slugs, nicely placed. But a couple of these guys, no, bro, you're just gonna piss them off. It's gonna be like that cocaine bear movie. Like,
No,
no, they're just gonna
If you
walk.
haven't seen that one's a great funny. It's
I've
a good
seen
funny flick.
Cocaine Bear.
I mean, it's one of those movies that's on more on the gory side as far as like like bloody films go, but it does a good job of trying to be funny the whole time too. So
I was gonna say I went into it feeling like, oh my God, this is so serious. This actually happened. And then it was just like one of the most hilarious
yeah,
bits of like silly stuff that I've seen in a minute.
I mean, like,
But
how
I
much?
was nervous. I'm like, this is so serious. Oh my
No.
gosh, like this bear really did all that cocaine and this happened and
lightly
people I'm
based on a
like
true
people
story.
died. Yeah.
But yeah,
All right, let's wrap it up there. I just clapped and fucked up the whole audio for this thing.
you're
So
good. You're
sorry.
good.
But let's wrap it up there. I think that was fun. That was great. Vanessa's got to go like 10 minutes ago. Um,
That's okay. I'm
so
I'm not it's okay.
I think that's a perfect place to wrap it, guys.
Yeah,
Everybody, say goodbye. Actually, don't forget to like, follow, subscribe.
Yes. The stuff that you do,
on
please.
Yes,
everything,
Do all
please.
of the things.
yes. Follow on all social medias. We're on TikTok. We're on the Grammys. We're on YouTube. So don't forget to follow, subscribe, drop us a like, hit us up in the comments because we need feedback. Obviously, we need shit to talk about so that we don't just talk about random shit for an hour.
I did have a list of things I was going to talk about.
No, me too. Me too. Me too. But it's
Like
all
I
good.
got I got through one of them. Okay. All right.
Cross that one off the list.
Cross it off. IMAX taken care of. Forget about her.
Yep. Easy. Done. Everybody wave goodbye.
See ya.
Peace to the homies.